Just want to give you some updates on Russia-Ukraine front. By the way, welcome back to my channel. If you happen to be not subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing because I give you updates that are not given to you by the mainstream Western media. We have seen how Russian drones flew close to the RF bases, UK bases in UK. Also HMS Queen Elizabeth bases. All of these drones were flying for different purposes. Number one could be to gather intelligence, to have a good feel about UK's defense when it comes to the naval force. It could also be because Russia is just pinning its target over UK. As we have seen last month, how these drones and Pentagon, UK military, they do not have any clue how these drones we have seen last month was flying over US and UK military bases in UK. In other words, Russia is really making things a little bit intense. And at the same time, UK and now Germany is getting very nervous. Why? Now this time Germany is coming under fire. I will talk to you more about this in a second, but I want to start off with this particular news. How the US ambassador in Ukraine went into hiding. Let's take a listen at this report and then I'll add some more comments.
Russia launching a massive barrage across the country, targeting its energy infrastructure as winter approaches, and Vladimir Putin is warning the strikes could intensify. Our chief
So this strike coming in Ukraine just as we see winter is setting in Ukraine. They need power, they need those energy supplies more than ever before. Now only to find out that Russian missile and bombs are hitting those targets, those energy infrastructure in Ukraine, finding it absolutely difficult, if not impossible, for the Ukrainian people to get any power supply in this crucial moment.
Foreign correspondent Ian Pannell is tracking the latest. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, Rebecca. That's right. I mean, Russia and North Korea essentially expanding their mutual defense pact this morning, in effect challenging the US, South Korea and Europe. The Russian defense minister, who's in Pyongyang, saying he wants to maintain the balance of power in Northeast Asia. As you say, meanwhile, hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians without power today. Russia carrying out another massive aerial attack on Ukraine's already beleaguered energy system. Putin essentially trying to crush Ukraine's power grid as winter temperatures start to plummet. President Biden calling it an horrific attack. Even the US ambassador to Ukraine forced to hide in a bunker while it was happening. Putin claiming that the attack was a response to the use of US weapons against Russia, recently approved by President Biden. But honestly, these type of attacks have been happening for well over a year. And in a warning to the US and NATO, Putin claiming that his weapons, like this hypersonic missile, are stronger than the American ones, and that he has 10 times more missiles than all of NATO combined. He's also trying to flatter President-elect Trump, who's vowed to end the war quickly, calling him a, quote, quite clever and experienced man who will find a solution. But for all the talk of peace plans, Russia pressing its war against Ukraine harder than ever as tensions grow between the US and its allies and Russia and its partners. Gio?
Okay, so basically Russia has complete upper hand in this matter of Ukraine. Number one is Putin he has the option whether he can delay more attacks on Ukraine, bring them on the negotiation table, or he can just do it as fast as he wants. Because by that attack on Russia through Ukraine, when US supplied Ukraine with the ATACMS missile and UK with the Storm Shadow missiles, they have given Putin a free pass. It's really up to Putin now how fast he wants to avenge those attacks on Russian people. But at the same time, Putin is saying that, well, wait a second, we can wait for Putin. So it's really up to him. Number two is that this US ambassador went into hiding in Ukraine because of the intensity of the attack by Russia. This is something I have never heard of in the past. However, there is another report that said when US attacked the Russian territory using Ukraine as the base with the ATACMS, US was notified because they have detected on their radar that some kind of missiles is going to hit Ukraine very soon. And then we have seen the Oreshnik missile hitting Ukraine in the Dnipro province. Nevertheless, US, they were aware that a massive attack on Ukraine was about to happen, and they have actually closed temporarily their embassy in Ukraine. I'm talking about US. They were so worried about this Russian attack, they closed the embassy. Now we hear that the ambassador himself, he was hiding in the bunkers when Russia launched that attack on the Ukrainian energy infrastructure. And this is going to be an ongoing thing, that you will see more and more attacks on Ukrainian infrastructure. Number 3 is that, guys, Russia is taking this fight to outside Ukraine, not just in Ukraine, but also Ukraine. And I have predicted, after the ATACMS and the Storm Shadow missile attack on Russia, I have predicted, and I said that, look, this is going to be a huge retaliation. Not only that will be limited, that will not be limited in Ukraine, but it will target, Russia will target Germany, Poland, Netherlands, and all of these countries, whoever they want, whoever it would please put in. Therefore, as we have seen in September, some other attack on these Baltic nations, for example, Finland and Germany, the subsea cable was cut off. And then we have seen Sweden and Slovakia, their GPS system, their satellite system was not functioning. Russia attacked, according to some sources. What I'm trying to get you at is this. Russia is not going to be attacking just US and UK. It will be attacking anyone and everyone, whoever it feels like doing it. It's at the whims and desire of Vladimir Putin, because of this ATACMS and Storm Shadow missile attack in Russia. This is a declaration of war. So Russia right now is at war with US and UK, literally. Make no mistake, and with NATO too. Now take a look at this particular report, where you will see that Germany, their helicopter came under attack by Russian forces. Take a listen.
A Russian warship opened fire on a German army chopper over the Baltic Sea, Germany's foreign minister has confirmed. It's understood the crew of Putin's ship fired warning shots at the helicopter conducting a reconnaissance mission. While signal ammunition is intended for warnings rather than attacks, this incident highlights the spiralling tensions between NATO and Russia. The helicopter was deployed due to increased patrols in the Baltic Sea. While a German Defence Ministry spokesperson could not confirm Wednesday's reports about the incident, the German Foreign Minister reportedly mentioned it on the sidelines of a NATO meeting in Brussels. On X, the minister said that due to reports of Russia increasing its hybrid attacks in the Baltic Sea region, NATO would enhance its monitoring and protection of key infrastructure. She added that ships continue to sail through the Baltic Sea, attempting to bypass sanctions imposed on Russia following Putin's illegal invasion of Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean, the Western narrative is obviously that this invasion or a special military operation by Russia in Ukraine is illegal, but we know it is not illegal. What we believe is that every country has the right to defend itself. And that's what Matthew Miller said last week in his press conference, that every country has the right to defend itself. But then when we see their action, it is actually quite contradicting to what they say. They talk about human rights, they talk about violating international law, don't do that, don't do this, behave, we're a civilized world, we believe in rule of law. The next thing you know, they don't care about international law, they don't care about ICC, they don't care about arresting Netanyahu. In fact, they say the exact opposite. Oh, Netanyahu is immune, he should not be arrested. This is ridiculous. So one mouth, 100 different types of statements and claims from the Western government. So this is making everybody really getting frustrated with their lies and hypocrisy.
It was also announced by the Foreign Minister that monitoring of pipelines and data cables in the region would be intensified. This is in response to recurring Russian attacks on this critical infrastructure, including the destruction of cables and disruptions to the GPS system. Last month, 2 subsea cables, one linking Finland and Germany and the other connecting Sweden to Lithuania, were damaged in less than 24 hours, prompting German Defence Minister Boris Pistorius to say he assumed it was sabotage. Russia denied any responsibility for the damaged cables. Putin's infamous allies North Korea and Iran are also accused of seeking to destabilise European states through hybrid attacks. The incident...
Okay, so just a few words here, guys. The subsea cables that was destroyed, and Germany is claiming that was sabotage done by Russia, is not 100% true, because on that same day, and it happened, by the way, within a matter of just 24 hours, as this report also suggests. Some other reports suggest that sabotage was actually done by China itself. Now, China would not do that. They have no interest in destroying or damaging those subsea cables. China has really no interest at all. So is it possible China has done it by mistake, or some other party they have done it by mistake, and then now they're blaming Russia? Well, it is possible, because these Western countries, they are trying to find any excuse to blame Putin, to blame Russia, as some of you have said, when they found out drones flying in UK over US and UK military bases as false flag, as a pretext to blame Russia more and really put the pressure on them in order to rally the whole world behind US and UK and NATO against Russia.
Is part of ongoing tensions between NATO and Russia, with there being previous reports of Russian drones near the UK's HMS Queen Elizabeth and RAF bases. Putin has previously threatened to strike British and US military targets following NATO missile strikes in Ukraine. And in September, RAF jets were deployed when Russian warplanes flew near the UK coast. The situation remains tense as NATO and Russia edge closer to direct confrontation.
Yeah, I think I want to know from you guys, do you think that if Trump cannot solve this problem between Ukraine and Russia, do you think there will be a war between Russia and NATO? Or regardless of what Trump does, do you think that Russia will still strike some NATO countries because of this humiliation? I mean, obviously Putin didn't like it when ATACMS and a Storm Shadow missile was used against his own country. Of course, he did not answer back to US and UK properly. He's still holding the cards. Now, I want to share with you some other news here. Russia top general, he alarms US military boss, giving advance notice of large-scale attack. Now, this attack could be the one that I just mentioned in Ukraine a few days ago, where the US ambassador was hiding. In a historic first ever call, Russia's defense chief, General Valery Gerasimov, cautioned the top US General C.Q. Brown about a large-scale Russian military exercise. Now, I want to pause here. Would US give this kind of notice to Russia? I don't think so. So who is really the warmongers? Who are the people? Who is driving this military industrial complex? Is it Russia or US? You see for yourself, it is absolutely US. Because every time Russia wants to attack, looks like they give US notice. For example, even the Oreshnik missile attack, they gave US warning. Don't think this is coming your way. It is actually targeting only Ukraine and their military assets. So again, Russia is playing it really cool and nice, but who takes the blame? Russia. The rare for conversation initiated by Russian President Vladimir Putin's aide Gerasimov comes amid escalating tensions between the two nations. During the call, Gerasimov provided the United States with advance notice of the military drills, highlighting the growing concerns over military actions between Russia and the US. Now, let's also talk about this particular interview by Tucker Carlson when he sat down with Sergei Lavrov, Russian foreign minister. Let's see what he has to say.
Thank you for doing this.
The United States and the allies of the United States who also provide this long-range weapons to the Kiev regime, they must understand that we would be ready to use any means not to allow them to succeed in what they call strategic defeat of Russia. So the message which we wanted to sell by testing in real action this hypersonic system is that we will be ready to do anything to defend our legitimate interest. Some Westerners have been pronouncing lately that, well, don't believe that Russia has red lines. They announced their red lines. These red lines are being moved again and again and again. This is a very serious mistake.
Wow.
We would certainly like to avoid any misunderstanding And since the people, some people in Washington and some people in London, in Brussels, seem to be not very capable to understand, we will send additional messages if they don't draw necessary conclusions.
Okay, so looks like still, even though they are giving red lines and countries are just violating that red lines set by Russia, but Russia is quite positive that at some point things will change. I think they are pinning their hope also on Trump administration. They believe that Putin will get along with Trump, and therefore there is really no need for us to escalate it anymore. It also brings me something that Scott Ritter he said, which I now think was really trying to exaggerate the whole situation, the tension between Russia and the Western countries, when he said, Scott Ritter, that look, the 72 minutes he said, or 70 minutes for nuclear explosion and complete annihilation of humanity. He said that will happen once Biden will sign off on the papers where he will allow Ukrainian forces to target Russia inside Russia. So when Scott Ritter said that, he rang the alarm in a quite big way, that the moment Biden signs, we will see World War III. I don't think that is going to happen. I think Putin is a lot more understanding of the situation than Scott Ritter or anybody else for that matter. We don't need to panic as much as we are told to, especially from the modern day speakers who talk about imminent warfare, or who are just trying to get more views on YouTube. We need to be really critical of what they say and try to find out ourselves whether what they're saying is for PR or whether what they're saying is because it is factual. But nevertheless, we are still very close to World War III than we have been ever before, simply because of what is happening in Ukraine, Russia, US, and right now in Syria. Everything is just falling apart. Nobody seems to care about anybody else. But we really don't need to, at the same time, panic so much to the point where we just stop, acting normal.
What do you think of Donald Trump?
My impression, he's very friendly in, discussions, but this does not mean that that he is pro-Russian, as some people try to present him. The amount of sanctions we received under the Trump administration was very, very, very big.
Okay, so basically he's very, very hopeful. What we understand about Trump administration, at least this is what he believes, will fix the situation in Ukraine and bring this war to an end. And this is going to be absolute in the benefit of every party, every country, if the war in Ukraine stops. Now, we also have seen Pentagon. They're now for the first time admitting casualties after rocket and mortar attack on U.S. Army base in Syria. Pentagon has admitted casualties in an attack on U.S. military base in Syria on Tuesday amid rebel offensive in the country. Pentagon said 3 service members are being treated for brain trauma. Rockets and mortars were fired at the base, following which U.S. retaliated near the MSF mission supported site Euphrates in Syria. It seems to me this was done by pro-Iranian militias, if not Iran directly. Why? Because this kind of trauma, brain trauma or injuries, were caused when last time Iran attacked U.S. base in Iraq because of the killing of Qasem Soleimani. So similar effect that we are seeing on the U.S. service members. I don't know who attacked them, but they will obviously soon find out. U.S. will soon find out. They will not blame it on anybody if it is done by Syrian rebels, but if it is done by Iran, or if there is any involvement of Iranian forces in this attack, they're going to make a big deal out of it. I just want to actually let you know, guys, thank you so much for joining this session. If you have any comment, leave a comment in the comment section below. See you in the next video. Have a wonderful